Hi friends, we're going to be going over our vocabulary words for our story, Dex. Okay, so for this video I've decided that we're not going to do motions for these words because we make them up in our group. So if you do not come to our live meetings, we do that now. We make our motions together, so I don't want to make motions that are going to be different than what we do in the group so that if people are rewatching the video they don't get confused. So if you are one of our friends who just watches the videos and does not come to class, you can just make up your own motions for these words that you think would help you remember. So I'm just going to go over them with you. So our first word is depended. The dog depended on its owner for food and water. And if you depend on something, you rely on someone. Okay, right? It's up to someone else. You're relying on someone else. You're putting a lot of your trust and weight in someone else, what they're doing. Number 2 is sore. That has our O-R-E, like from our phonics. The dog hurt its paw. The paw is sore. And if something is sore, it kind of hurts a little bit, right? If you've ever had sore feet or a sore maybe arm, it hurts a little bit. You're okay, you can move around, it's not broken, but it definitely hurts a little bit. Alright, the next word is sprang. The cat saw the food. She sprang towards the dish. So if you sprang towards something, you're like jumping towards it quickly. Sprang. So I guess I am kind of doing motions, talking with my hands. The next word is studied. Before getting a puppy, the girl studied a book about dog care. Studied. So if you're studying it, you're reading and you're learning about that topic. So you're spending time reading and learning about it. The next word is gazing. This dog is gazing or looking closely at a squirrel. So our clue in this, of course, is the looking closely, and that's what gazing means. If you're gazing at something, you're looking closely at something. Number 6 is hero. Makes sense. Our story is called Dex, the Heart of a Hero. This dog is the hero. It saved the boy from getting hurt. So a hero is someone who saves or helps other people. It doesn't have to be a superhero. Our police officers can be heroes. Firefighters can be heroes. Even sometimes your grown-ups or teachers can be heroes. It's just people who help other people and put other people before themselves and save them. And in this case, it was a dog. Animals can be heroes too. Number 7 is exercise. A dog needs exercise every day. This dog wants to run fast. So exercise is when you're moving your body and just working out is like a synonym you might have heard. So you know all sorts of exercise. You can run, you can do jumping jacks, you can lift weights if you're a little bigger. Anything like that is exercise. You're moving your body, you're being healthy. And our last word is overlooked. They overlooked or didn't see where the dog was hiding, and this overlooked is like our prefix over, which we will talk about later in the week. But if they overlooked something, they didn't see it. You overlooked it, you did not see it, you missed it. You overlooked it, you missed it. So let's talk about some more specific definitions for those. So gazing is looking at something, and then they put fondly. So not just necessarily closely, but fondly. If you gaze into someone's eyes, if you've heard that before, it's a fond thing, which means kind, which means kind of loving. It's that kind of motion. Hero is someone who is looked up to for doing something important and brave, right? So like we talked about. Sprang is you jumped up quickly. Exercise is an activity that moves the body. We talked about all the different ways you can exercise. Sore is a feeling of pain or discomfort. You have sore head, sore arm, sore feet. Studied is when you're learning about a subject. Depended is counted on or relied on. So we use that word relied. And overlooked is you didn't see, it's not noticed, it's looked past. Okay, so now let's do our triggers. This I will do with you, even though we do these in our live meetings as well. But that way you have these because these are a great resource to be able to learn your vocabulary words. And these triggers are good. You'll use them going forward as well. So let's work on our triggers. Oops. Alright, so as usual, you're going to just need your piece of paper, and we're going to fold it hamburger style or horizontally twice, just like we always do. That's 1 and 2, so you have 4 boxes on each side. Alright, so let's get into it. This one's actually pretty short this week with the triggers we have, and remember you can always add more to the different pieces that you would like. So our first word is depended. Depended. And we're going to do an equation trigger. We're going to think of what plus what would equal the word depended. Well, I think of rely plus trust. If you're relying on someone and you trust them, you're depending on them. So depended. Another one we could do with trust is trust plus a relationship, meaning like a parent relationship, a family relative relationship. Those are the kind of people you trust and depend on. So whatever grown-up you're with, I'm sure you depend on them for a lot of things, getting you your food, taking care of you, making sure you're clean and where you need to be, those kinds of things. All right, so our next word is soar. And for soar, we're going to do an acrostic. So with our acrostic, we're going to put it real big. It's pretty short, so we can write pretty big in this one. All right, and we're going to use words about soar or that relate to soar with the letters, just like we always do. So I think of when I get sick, I usually feel pretty sore, right? I might have a headache, maybe my belly aches. I'm just sore all over. If you've ever had a fever, which I'm sure you have, you know how you get that kind of achy feeling. You just feel sore and those kinds of things. Your foot might be sore. If you think about our other word, exercise, when you're doing exercises, you're running, doing things, you might get sore, like your sore body parts, right? You might get sore arms, sore legs, just from all that movement. When you are sore, it's important to rest. It's important to rest that body part so that your body can heal itself. All right, and then the last word is going to be headache, because if my head is sore, I have a headache. Sore head, which is unfortunately something that happens more often than not sometimes, especially with all this screen time. I'm sure you can relate to that. I feel like my eyes are often sore, so maybe we should have put eyes on there. My eyes are often sore and a bit of a headache from just all the screen time, so I can relate to you on that. All right, so sprang, we're going to do one we haven't done in a long time. We're going to do a word shape. So sprang means to jump quickly, right? To springs towards something. So we're going to kind of write our word at a diagonal like it's springing towards something. So sprang. Pretty cool, huh? We don't get to do word shapes very often because it's sometimes hard to make it work with the word, but I think since this is a motion, it works. So it's like sprang. And if it helps you to draw like an arrow, you can do that as well. All right, for studied, we're going to do the one that's probably your favorite, and it's just a sketch. So you're going to draw someone learning about something, right? So I'm going to draw a little guy, and let's say he's reading a book. Oh boy. Not my best book, but some of my pages. Oh, messy. Let's say he's reading his reading book. So he's studying to learn about reading. It's my little guy. So that's your sketch. So like I said, these aren't as long today. All right. So let's move on to our other one. For gazing, we're going to do synonyms, a synonym trigger, which are words that mean almost the same thing. So like stare, because remember gazing is like looking at something. So stare, analyze, we do that a lot. Something. Look, okay? So those are all words that have to do with gazing. And I've just put a couple other that aren't necessarily synonyms. So let's change the trigger a little bit and just make it more examples. Association. So we have stare, look, analyze, and things you might gaze at. Stars. Have you ever heard of stargazing? And looking closely is the most important part. So we're going to put closely as well. So a couple extra little words there to help us just get a more well-rounded understanding of the word. All right, for hero, we're going to do a similar thing. We're just going to do examples of people and things who can be heroes. So you can list some superheroes if you want, which I'll do. Batman, the room here at school, which unfortunately you are not in, is Batman themed. There's Batman stuff all over the room. So that's a hero I think of. I think of police officers. I'm just going to write police. Firefighters can be heroes. Animals. My family members, right? So family can be heroes. A lot of people can be heroes. Okay? You can be a hero. Let's put that. You can be a hero too. Okay. All right, so for exercise, we're going to do examples and non-examples. This one will have the kind of most writing for. So remember with our examples and non-examples, we have our T-chart. And on this side, we'll have examples of things that are exercise, and on this example, on the non-example, things that are not. So let's think of some exercises. Running, jumping, jogging. People go jogging. Lifting weights. Might do. Let's think of things that are not exercise. Watching TV, playing video games, unless it's kind of a dancing game. If you've ever played those games or any other game that gets you up and moving, not sure how many of you guys have Wii's anymore, but a lot of those games where they had sports and things where you got up and you had to move around, that could be considered a workout. Oh, I should have said video games. All right. So those are some examples of not exercising. Or you can even put sleeping. It's not exercising, though it is an important thing to do to stay healthy, but it's not exercising. All right, our last word is going to be overlooked. And for overlooked, we're going to use an analogy trigger or that bridge map, right? So we're going to say overlooked is to did not see, right? As, and we're actually going to use one of our other vocabulary words here. We're going to put gazing is to looking, which is like you did see it. Right? So that's your side. Those other four, so of course as always, you can pause and rewind and get anything you missed. But those are your vocabulary words for this week. So my friends who don't come to class, you can make your own motions or things like that. And then my friends who did come to class, if you're reviewing this, you know what motions we made, and if you're reviewing it before, you'll see the motions that we make when we get to our group. So, all right, friends, have a great rest of your day.